My name is Grace Ndiritu. I'm an artist. I work in all media, performance, video, painting, writing, and I also do social practice, which means I work with different community groups, refugees, migrants, and young artists to do different projects. I work within the art world, so doing things in museums and galleries, but also outside as well. I guess my approach to repatriation of objects and decolonizing museum is maybe a bit different than most of the people. I wrote an essay called Healing the Museum in 2016, and before that I had already begun a series of performances where I was bringing new energies into the museum. So I came up with this idea that museums are dying because they're very cut off with what's going on outside the museum, and so the museums need new energies to reactivate them. So through meditation and shamanism, bringing people who generally don't do these kind of activities into the museum to do them. So, for example, I did a big project in Brussels. Over 4 months, I gave meditation classes to refugees and activists, but I also worked with people who work at the UN and NATO and the EU Parliament, and I gave them also mind conditioning practices. And at the end of the 4 months, I brought the two groups together to do a performance. And the performance was it was a shamanic performance, and it was about healing trauma. So using food, shamanism, meditation, and art to talk about trauma. So my belief is that we are all living in different states of trauma, and even in the West or the non-West, all countries have experienced trauma in different levels, and it's really important to talk about that. I would say my main interest in this subject matter is about the connection about decolonizing museums and environmental justice, how the two things go together. So the idea of stolen land, so obviously land has been taken, and this idea of also of stolen culture, so that's also objects and human remains, but also this idea of stolen climate. So all the issues to do with climate change and oil companies sponsoring museums and culture, and how these three things affect people, whether they're in indigenous groups or Western public visiting the museums. It's really important that these issues are more open, and it's very relevant for today.